Hello, my name is Keely. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm going to be teaching you how to style your curly hair. This is something that anybody with curly hair has a difficult time with. When you style your hair, a lot of times it'll just be frizzy, and there are some things that you can do to kind of cut down on that. I'm not going to really talk to you today about what I use for my shampoo and conditioner. I'm just going to go over the styling part. So the first thing I do when I get out of the shower is I don't dry my hair at all. That's a really big key. Don't use a towel to dry your hair or anything. You want it to be really sopping wet for a reason. It won't be as frizzy at the end. So when I get out of the shower, a lot of times I just pull it to the side and do one little simple ring with my hand. And then I take my hairbrush and I brush it. I brush it to the side where I want my part to be, and I pull my bangs forward. I already did that. And now I apply some mousse. Now I used to use gel, but it makes your hair very crunchy, and I've really enjoyed what mousse does for my hair. I use a really cheap brand. It's called Suave Captivating Curls, and if you can't find this, I would suggest that you go with a mousse that is really thick and has a creamy texture. If you put mousse in your hand and it fizzles out into nothing, then you might not have the right kind of mousse for your hair. And you need to use a lot of mousse for curly hair. So I have piled this much in my hair, in my hand, and I may need to actually use a little bit more. So I take and I just start by sections, putting this mousse into my hair, and I don't really worry that much about it being completely blended in at the start, because it will be by the time I'm done. Again, I will need some more. As your hair gets longer, you might have to use more. So I added another ball amount to reach all of these sections in the back. And then I just pull it down and make sure that it goes from the root down to the tips. And I put a tiny bit in my bangs, even though I don't curl my bangs. I feel that it needs something to help hold down my bangs. Once I have put all of that in my hair, I try to work it in a little bit. And I flip my hair forward. I know that some people will tell you don't flip your hair forward with curly hair. This may not be the step for you depending on how your hair is. But I sort of have these flat spots up here. And so I do put my hair forward. And you probably can't even see me, and I just pull it out like this and scrunch, okay? I do this because I have, like I said, some flat spots on the top here. Now, I started with very sopping wet hair. I combed it into the part that I like to keep and pulled my bangs forward. If you don't have bangs, you wouldn't need to do that. If you like to keep your part on the side, just pull it over however you like. The next thing you need is to have a diffuser. Now I like the one with these spokey things. I like this because my hair lays like this, see? It lays on that little spokes and it helps to make curls. I use the lowest setting on my hair dryer, and now you're going to watch me dry my hair for just a minute. I won't dry it completely today, but just to kind of give you an idea of the right way to dry your hair if you have curly hair. Okay, that's about all I will dry my hair in this video. As you can see, a lot of my curls are already starting to form. What I would do with my bangs, because I have bangs, and I can't do this right now because of the cord, I would take the hair dryer without that diffuser on, and I would just blow dry like this overhead, just for a minute or two. I also use a flat iron on, I actually use a flat iron on my bangs as well. Let's see, I'm going to show you my flat iron. And I would just pull them down so that they are nice and straight and flat. Otherwise, they are going to curl up on me. For me, as far as drying hair, I think that it depends on what time of year you're in. If it's the summer, if you fully blow dry your hair in the summer, it may have a lot more volume than what you like for it to have. In the winter, it is a good idea to go ahead and blow dry it, for the most part, to be completely dry as much as possible. You won't have as much frizz in the winter unless you live in a really warm climate or humid area. So in the summer, you might only want to dry your hair for about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how thick it is. In the winter, you might need 10 to 15 minutes. The next key thing is that while it's still wet, you don't touch it. Don't even scrunch it. Don't play with it. If you're going to dry it at all, or try and form those curls at all, you really just need to use your diffuser and put your hair on it. If you play around with your hair while it's drying, it's going to be fluffier. And I don't personally like for my curls to be very fluffy. I want them to be well defined, and I ruin my curls if I scrunch them and play with them. I used to do this, but in the last year or so, I've had better luck by doing this technique. Starting with sopping wet hair, not using a towel to dry it at all, putting mousse instead of gel, and using my diffuser on low heat and drying my hair until I see the curls really set over the summer. And then in the winter, I go ahead and pretty much dry it almost all the way. I've not experienced much heat damage, and I know that some people do worry about that with their hair being curly, but I don't really deal with much heat damage at all. Something else that I do whenever I notice a lot of frizz is I take these little ends and I just sort of trim them up with my scissors. You don't have to trim your hair very much, but think of the look that you would have with the split ends. Even though your ends don't look split, if you have curly hair and you're noticing a lot of frizz, you need to just trim a tiny bit off the ends of your hair. If you're worried that you can't do this yourself without ruining your hair, then you might need to increase the amount of times that you get your hair trimmed. Instead of every couple of months, every 4 to 6 weeks would be a very good thing for curly hair. So when you notice your hair being really frizzy, you need to figure out, why is it frizzy? Is it because it needs a little trim? Am I drying it? Have I been using the towel and that's producing frizz? Is it something to do with the hair product that I'm using? I really suggest using a heavyweight mousse and something that will put some conditioner in your hair as well as help those curls form. If you use a mousse that dries out your hair, then you will notice more frizz. You're going to have to play around, see what works best for you. But anyway, I hope that this tutorial will help you have less frizz hair and better defined curls. I've had curly hair my whole life, and I believe it's only been in the last few years that I've learned how to do my hair the best. Good luck to you, and leave me a message in the comments if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.